Some people just do not deserve to wear said badge. Alex, what are you talking about? We'll see. Okay, let's get into it. It says 6 white Mississippi cops plead guilty to torturing black man with sex toy, stun gun, and wounding one in quote unquote mock execution. Y'all. Let's get into this, okay? Remember, we got 6 people. Let's get into it. Former Rankin County Sheriff's Office deputies Christian Dedmon, 28 years old, Hunter Elward, 31 years old, Brett McAlpin, 52 years old, Jeffrey Middleton, 46 years old, Daniel Opdyke, 27 years old, and former Richland officer Joshua Hartfield, 31 years old, pleaded guilty to charges including assault, civil rights conspiracy, and obstruction of justice over the disturbing January 24th attack in Braxton. Dedmon, Elward, and Opdyke also pleaded guilty to 3 federal felony offenses for a separate incident on December 4th in which Dedmon beat and tased a white man and fired a gun near his head to coerce a confession, while Elward and Opdyke failed to intervene. They'll be sentenced mid-November of this year. Dedmon and Elward each face a maximum sentence of 120 years plus life in prison and $2.75 million in fines. Hartsfield faces a possible sentence of 80 years and $1.5 million in fines. McAlpin faces 90 years and $1.75 million in fines. Middleton faces 80 years and $1.5 million in fines, and Opdyke could be sentenced to 100 years and $2 million for the fine. The defendants in this case tortured and inflicted unspeakable harm on the victims. Okay, it was egregiously violated the civil rights of the citizens who they're supposed to be protecting. All right. The 6 white officers kicked in the door of a Braxton home where Michael Corey Jenkins, 32 years old, and Eddie Terrell Parker, 35 years old, were staying with the white woman the latter was caring for on January 24th without a warrant after the neighbor called to complain. All right. Got a little bit here. It says a white neighbor complained that the black people were staying there with the white woman who owned the house. So this is her house. Parker was a longtime friend of the homeowner and was helping to take care of her. So apparently there was a white neighbor who's like, man, these Negroes up in here, they ain't supposed to be up in here and they're constantly over here or whatever, and probably got fed up that their existence is there. Okay. But they're taking care of another person. They're taking care of her. They're helping to take care of her. What's the problem? How is that a reason to get the cops involved? And then these thugs came. Y'all, this story gets wild. Let's continue. The officers entered the home with sex toys, firearms, stun guns, milk, eggs, alcohol, and chocolate syrup. And then they used racial slurs, of course, against the 2 men, telling them to go back to Jackson or, quote unquote, their side of the Pearl River areas, which have more black people over there. Prior to entering the home, the officers planned to forego a warrant, y'all, if they could bypass security cameras, and wanted to use excessive force, but aimed to avoid the men's faces so that there would be no bad mugshots. So they're like, okay, we're not gonna get a warrant because we can't get a warrant for this. This is BS, and we know Abuji, and we already know that's what it is. Okay, so they're like, okay. So now we got to make sure that we don't get up in the security cameras because, come on, we got a reputation to uphold over here. So they do what they do, okay? And then they say, okay, we're going to hurt these dudes, but, we don't want to, mess up the face, because they're being extra thoughtful and caring. I don't want you to have a bad mugshot. We don't want to hurt you too bad, okay? Let's continue. The deputies threw eggs at the handcuffed men and forced them to lie on their backs while pouring milk, alcohol, and chocolate syrup over their faces. They then forced the men to strip naked and shower to remove the evidence. So they're like, oh, let's go ahead and do this. Oh no, there's gonna be evidence. Hop in the shower. They tased the victim several times to test whether the sheriff's office or the police department has stronger electric currents for their tasers. Yeah, that's great. I'm sure that's the only way to test that, huh? Updike and Deadman also assaulted the two men with sex toys, while Edwards shoved a gun in Jenkins' mouth and fired in what was supposed to be a quote-unquote mock execution. The bullet lacerated the tongue and broke his jaw. I wonder, were these blanks, or how did that go about? I'm kind of curious, were they blanks or not, or was it just like a quick turn of the head that could have been fatal, but it wasn't? I don't know. Let's continue. As he lay on the ground bleeding, the officers did not render medical aid. For people who don't know, if you're a cop, you're supposed to do what you can to keep this person alive. Even though, if someone was bad, you're still supposed to do it. You know what I mean? So these people didn't seem like they were bad. So why did you not do? Oh yeah, I know why. Let's continue. They instead tried to devise a cover-up about the fictitious narcotic bust and discuss planting drugs and a gun, which means that you have plenty of drugs on y'all, probably. Surveillance and threats. Court documents say the officers took on the quote-unquote goon squad nickname because of their willingness to use excessive force and to not report it. Jenkins and Parker filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against Rankin County in June for $400 million, and they should get all of it. I mean, that's really what it is. You should be able to get it all. And here's the thing. Why do you think that because you have a badge, you could throw eggs on me? You could just break into my crib. You can assault me. They raped him. That's what happened. You're putting sex toys in come on. You raped the men. Why do you think that you could just do this because you have a badge? I don't get it. You're saying, go back to Jackson, go back to the other side over there where all the Negroes are at. And it's like, really, dude? What does that badge mean to you? Seriously, what does it mean to you? Because it can't be to protect and serve. It can't be. Because who are you serving? Your own best interest? Your sick fantasies? Your evil thoughts? Let me know what y'all think about said story. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and also leave a comment down below. I would also appreciate it if you could go on ebay.com, simply type in Latrice Limited, click on shops, and then you can support me right over there. I have a wide variety of items over there. I have many of my own personal Latrice Limited items, which has candles, bath bombs, soaps, essential oil blends, lingerie robes. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I even have comic books on there, men's ties, action figures, a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Definitely support me on there. Like I said, do not forget to like and subscribe, and thank you.